Hello everyone, welcome back to this session of English. In this session, we are going to continue with our topic prepositions. Now, this is part 13. Well, we have been revising prepositions in all these sessions. We have been revising a series that has one preposition, many uses. So, in this session, we are going to do the same revision. In this session, we will discuss two prepositions. What are the different prepositions that we are going to discuss over here? First one is preposition above and another one is preposition over. So we are going to discuss two prepositions in this session, that is above and over. Well, both the prepositions sound same, but they are different in context and the usage in the sentence. So we are going to discuss each of these prepositions or both of these prepositions separately so that we can have an idea, we may have an idea how to use these prepositions in our sentences, so that now onwards we are able to use these prepositions in our sentences properly. So let's begin the session. First of all, we'll read the preposition above. Now above shows something which is higher to us, or we can say that beyond our height. For example, a person is standing over here, that is A, and something is above him, it means it is beyond his height. So we are going to discuss preposition above in this session. Let us discuss the definition. The preposition above is used to indicate a higher position or location in relation to something else. Here are some additional examples and explanations of its usage. For example, first we have to show literal spatial location. Above is often used to describe the physical position of one object or point in relation to another that is higher in space. Suppose something is higher in space and we have to show something more higher. Well, I'm using this word more higher, so though this is a superfluous, I'm grammatically incorrect over here, but I'm using to show the extremeness of height over here. That is, if something is beyond that particular higher point, there we can use the word above or the preposition above. For example, if something is here and in relation to this object, we are showing this object, obviously this object is beyond the height of this object, so we can use above for this particular one. For example, the helicopter flew above the city. Now the city area is here and the aeroplane, of course the aeroplane flies in the sky, so the aeroplane is flying over here, so this is the above position in respect to city. So we can say the aeroplane is flying above the city. Now above the city just because it is just crossing the city from there. Now, in case of aeroplane, we can use different prepositions. We can use above the city, we can use over the city. Now, what is the difference between over and above in respect of aeroplane, that we will discuss later on. Of course, we will discuss that, but that will discuss later on. We will also discuss in this session there is the difference between over and above in some cases. Now, here the helicopter flew above the city, it means the city is here and it is flying above it. So we are using above. The book is on the shelf above the desk. It means the book is in the shelf. Shelf is here, so the book is inside somewhere here, but the desk is below, so the book is above. So we are saying the book is on the shelf above the desk. The shelf which is above the desk, the book is kept over there. So we are using above preposition. Now let us move further. Now, another use of preposition above is used to show the time. How? Above can be used to refer to a point in time that comes after another point in time. For example, the event is scheduled to take place above noon. Now, above noon means, now we know well that noon begins with 12 p.m. and it continues up to evening point. We can say, suppose 4 p.m. Now, above noon means after this particular time. Above here means after. So, after the noon time. After the noon time. His performance improved above the previous year's numbers. It means whatever performance he has made in the previous year, his performance is above. Above means improved this year. So it is improved. Therefore, for time as well, we can use the preposition above. Now let us move further. To show rank or hierarchy. Now this is very, very important. First of all, if we have prepositions like above and below, we should keep some things in our mind that if we have to show the range of something, the level of something, average of something, price of something, or you can say marks of something, price of something, it means if we are talking about something which is increasing or something which is decreasing, if we have to show increasing order and if we have to show decreasing order, we basically use below and above for increasing and for decreasing. So we use, if something increases we use above, and if something decreases we use below. So basically we use increasing and decreasing order, or we use above or below to show these increasing and decreasing orders respectively. This is the basic use of above and below. So if we have to show the rank or hierarchy, we basically use above or below. It can indicate a higher rank. So whenever we have to show the higher rank, we use above, and we have when we have to show the lower rank, for the lower rank we use below, or lower level we use below. So whenever we have to show lower rank, lower level, lower position, we use below, and whenever we have to show higher rank, higher level, or higher position in a hierarchy or a scale, we basically use above. For example, she holds a position above her colleagues. It means whatever the position she holds, it is above her colleagues, or it is higher than her colleagues, or higher than that of her colleagues. The manager's authority is above that of the team leads. So the manager's authority is above it. It means he's more authoritative. So, or his power is more than that. So here, when we are showing the higher rank, we are using the preposition above. We cannot use on over there. In writing a document, for example, if we write an application or anything, for example, there is written something over here and we are writing something over here. So as mentioned above, as mentioned above, it means whatever is written above it. Above it means the higher part of this, or the position higher than that, higher than this one. So we can use above. For example, whenever we solve any question, we say that in the question above, or whenever we write the solution, we can say in the, let us have the solution below, or let us see in the solution below. So below and above shows the position of that particular thing as well. Above can be used in written documents, especially when referring to something mentioned earlier in the text. So whatever earlier mentioned over there, so we can use above. Now we have two words, that is above, and its opposite is below. So below is just the opposite of above. Wherever we use above to show the higher of something, to show the earlier of something, below shows just opposite. It means if we are showing earlier part, we are using above. If we have to show the later part, we have to show below. Examples: please refer to the paragraph above for more information. It means, suppose there is a paragraph written over here and we are saying this line over here, it means we are talking about this paragraph which is written before that. So please refer to the paragraph above. It means we are showing this paragraph that is written earlier. As mentioned above, the main focus is on sustainability. It means that we have already described, that we have already mentioned. So we are talking about that particular part and we are using preposition above. Now let us move further. Metaphorical usage. Above can be used metaphorically to convey ideas of superiority, morals, or values. It means if we want to show someone superior, we can also use the word above. For example, if I say my parents are above all, it means I'm showing that my parents are superior to me above all. It means my parents are at the first position, they are the priority. So it can be used as a substitute word for the word priority, or you can say another name for priority. For example, his behavior is above reproach. The teacher's dedication is above and beyond the call of duty. So, here above has been metaphorically used. It is another name for the call of duty. Now, let us move to the next one. Navigation and direction. To show the direction, in case of navigation, we use above. In navigation, above can refer to a point higher in the sky or above the earth's surface. So, if something is above, it means it is above the earth's surface, it is beyond the earth's surface. For example, the plane is flying above the clouds. Of course, it is flying above the clouds, it means beyond the clouds. The stars shine brightly above us. Obviously, if we see stars, so stars are above in the sky, they are above us. So they are at the highest position. So the stars shine brightly above us. Another usage of above is figurative spatial relationships. It can also be used figuratively to describe relationships that have a sense of elevation or superiority. So, some relations are there which we keep beyond anyone. So, we can use above for them as well. For example, she always puts her family's needs above her own. It means whatever she needs, but her family's needs are the priority for her. Integrity should be placed above all else. It means integrity should be the priority above all the things. So, whenever we keep something as priority, whenever we keep something at the highest position, whenever we keep something for us to be the highest part of our life, we use the preposition above to show them. Now, let us see some more sentences using preposition above. We were flying above the clouds. Now, of course, we are not flying, we are flying in the we are on the aeroplane, and the aeroplane was flying over the above the clouds. A captain is in the navy ranks above a captain in the army. So here we are talking about ranks. Inflation is above 10%. Now, you must have read a phrase many a times in your mathematics questions as well. That is, the shopkeeper kept the price 25% above cost price, or marked the price 25% above cost. Above cost means that the cost increased by 25%. 25% above cost. It means in cost price, he's adding 25% of CP, that is the mark price. So here we are learning some maths as well, some concept of maths as well, though I'm not teaching you maths, but here I'm just showing this above concept to show how we use this above in case of cost price and mark price. Now let us move to the next one. The water is flowing above the sea level. Of course, whenever we are to show the level of sea, we are using above or below. So above the sea level, it means beyond the sea level. It means it is a dangerous thing. He is above suspicion. It means he is not in the list of suspicious or suspects. My parents are above all for me. It means my parents are priority for me. We lived in the room above the shop. It means shop is here, and just above the shop, whatever the room is over there, whichever the room is over there, we used to live over there. So it is physically above the shop. The price of this product is 25% above cost, as I told you. So this is how we can use the preposition above. Now we are going to read another preposition, that is over. Now, as I told you, above shows something which is beyond our height. over has several different uses. Now, first we'll discuss the three uses of over one by one. First, we'll read the first use of over. How to use this over in a sentence and when to use this over preposition in a sentence. First of all, if you have heard this word, you must have heard this word in many parts of a speech. How? A word over, it can be a verb, it can be a noun, it can be an adjective, it can be an adverb, and it can be a preposition as well. Well, there are different uses of over. First of all, if you see a cricket match and you have seen that there are 50 overs. So 50 overs, here this overs are noun. If I say your game is over, so game over, it means finished. So this over refers to finished. So here this word over is a verb. If I say you are overconfident, so you are confident. So this over can be an adverb or adjective as well. For example, if I say this is over smart, so over can be an adverb over there. So this can be an adverb, over smart. But if we talk about preposition over, now preposition over itself has many uses. Now, here we are not going to discuss this verb, this as a noun, this as an adjective, this as an adverb, but we are going to read this as a preposition. So, in this session, we are going to read over, we are going to discuss over as a preposition only. We are not going to discuss over in other parts of a speech. We are going to discuss over in prepositions only. First thing is there. Now let me take another page and here I will tell you over as preposition only. So this over is a preposition only and it can have different uses. It can be used differently in sentences. So first we'll read the first use of over. How to use this over in a sentence. Suppose something is, this is a line and something is above us. Now we are here and something is above us. These two things should not be in contact. Should not be in contact. It means they should not touch each other. If something is here and something is here, we can say that this thing is above this and it is not touching the surface of the thing below. So you can say that this point is here and this point is here and these two points are not touching each other. First condition is this: to use over, the two things, one is below and another one is above it, and the two things should not be in contact with each other. The above thing should not touch the surface of the lower thing. First condition is this. The second condition is they should be vertically aligned. It means these two should be in vertical position with each other. For example, if a person, suppose, let me make a room over here, though my drawing is not good. I'm just trying just to make you understand the point clearly. Suppose a person is standing over here and a fan is above him or fan is over him. So this fan is over him. So this is the person and this is the fan. So these two persons are vertically, or these two things or these two structures are vertically arranged. It means the fan is just above him. But if I say that this is a girl, now this boy's name is Ravi and she's a girl, her name is Ria. So if I ask you that in respect of Ravi, of course we'll use the preposition over, that is the fan is over Ravi or over the head of Ravi. But we cannot say the fan is over Ria because Ria and fan are not vertically arranged, whereas fan and Ravi are vertically arranged. So for this we can use over, but for this structure we cannot use over. This is the first thing. So the first thing is that they should not be in contact with each other. Second thing, they should be vertically arranged. So the first point is not in contact or not in touch. Second thing, second point is it should not be uh, vertically arranged. Sorry, it should be vertically arranged. Should be vertically arranged. So this is uh, the points um, for which we can use over. And the third thing is one thing should be above another thing. So these are the three conditions in which we can use over as the first use of preposition over. This is the first use of over as a preposition. So this is how we can use the word over or preposition over. Now this is only the first use. Now let us discuss the second use. So the sentences which we can write over here, that is, the fan is over our head, the sun is over our head in the afternoon, sun is over head in the afternoon, the fan is over, the fan is moving over our head, the fan is over our head. So this is how we can use the preposition over. Now let us discuss the second use of over as a preposition. One more thing is there. The first use, the second use, the third use, they will not match with each other in any case. But all the prepositions, all the overs are prepositions. Also, we have to use those over as preposition in our sentences, and that is correct. Now let us discuss the second use of it. Second use of over. How do we use second use? When something covers another thing. When something covers another thing, we use preposition over. Now, you must have seen, suppose there is a table and we are covering it. We are just placing a cloth over it. This is a table and we are covering it with a cloth. So this is the table and we are placing a cloth over it. So this is for this, just to spread this cloth, we will use over. Suppose we have a vessel, we have a cauldron, and after making the dish, after cooking the dish, we place a lid over it. So we can use over for the lid. Table plus cloth. So when we place a cloth, when we place a mat over the table, we use over because we are covering the table. When we cover the cauldron, whenever we cover the vessel, whenever we cover our dish with a lid, we use over. Whenever we spread a bed sheet, we use over. Whenever we wear another cloth over our clothes, we use over. For example, whenever we wear a blazer, a sweater, a pullover, a shawl, we use over. Now let us see some sentences. If I say, spread the bed sheet over the bed, I'm using preposition over. Put a blanket over the child, I'm using the preposition over. Now, if I say put a blanket over the child, it means I'm covering that particular child, so I'm using put a blanket over the child. Put on a blazer over your shirt. Put on a blazer over your shirt. Blazer means coat. Over your shirt. So I'm using preposition over. So here again, I'm using a preposition over. Obviously, if I'm wearing a shirt, put on meaning wear. If I'm say put on a blazer over your shirt, it means if you are just wearing a coat over your shirt, it means you are just covering yourself with that coat. So we are using put on. Now you must have heard a word that is overcoat. What does overcoat do? It covers you, therefore we call it overcoat. So if I say put a blanket over the child, it means just cover the child with that blanket. So I'm using the preposition over. So these are some ways where we can use preposition over. Now, you must be thinking in your mind, you must be thinking that here, if we are using preposition over, of course, if I just put the blanket over the child, it will definitely cover the child. Moreover, it will touch the child as well. But just we have read in our first usage of over that the two things should not be in contact with each other. But as I told you, that both the uses of over will be different from each other. They will not be in touch with them as well. There are two different uses of over. If we are showing the covering of something, we are using preposition over just to show that particular cover part. Now you can learn it from this part only. The word cover itself says over, itself contains the word over. So just whenever some covering is showing over there, we have to use the preposition over. So the first and second usage of over are different from each other. Don't mix up with them. They both are different. Therefore, just to cover something, we use preposition over. Now let us discuss third use of preposition over. Now we'll read third use of preposition over, or third use of over as a preposition. Suppose a man is standing over here. The ball bounced over his head and it goes here. Ball comes from this side and goes to this side and it bounced over him. It means it just passes the head of that particular person. Though it touches him or not, but it just passes over him. It passes above his head. When something passes from the above side, passes from the above side, we use preposition over. Passes from the above side. Now it can touch or it cannot touch. It is totally irrelevant. Passes from the above side, we use over. How? The ball bounced over his head. The ball bounced over his head. We can also use another another sentence, that is, suppose I'm teaching you many things, but some things maybe strike your mind. Maybe something goes beyond that. Of course, it happens with us many times that whenever someone says to us something, but it goes above our mind. It means it did not strike our mind. It does not strike our mind. We do not understand it. In that case as well, we can use preposition over. That your words are going be above over my head. Over my head means this is a phrase that means I'm not understanding, not able to understand, not able to understand. Now suppose one more thing I need to show you over here. Suppose there is a mat like this, and a cat is there. Suppose there is a cat, and what does this cat do? Suppose this is a cat. My drawing is not good, so just don't take it seriously. Well, this cat is roaming here in this part only, so we can say the cat is running on the mat. But what does this cat do? This cat just jumps from this side and goes to that side. So uh to that side, what she does, she just ran over the mat. She just going here and there, then she goes here, then she goes here. So we can say the cat is running over the mat. The cat is running over the mat. It means if the cat just passes the mat, so the cat is running over the mat. If she's only running in the particular area of that particular mat, we use on. But if it is just running beyond that mat, from starting point to the end point, not from the starting or the end, but beyond this starting point to the extreme part of that end part, So there we can use the preposition over, because that cat passes the mat. So we can use the cat is running over the mat, or the cat ran over the mat. So in that case we can use over. So this is how we can use preposition over. Moreover, we can use preposition over in some different cases as well. How? Let us discuss. Then we'll discuss the difference between over and above. Spatial position or location. The bird is flying over the house. It means the house is here and the bird is flying over here. So we can use over. Now, can we use above over here? Well, yes. How? Let me discuss, but that we'll discuss later on. Place the book over the table. Over the table means just above the table. The bridge spans over the river. Spans over the river, it means river is here and the bridge is here. Covering or spanning. He put a blanket over himself. It means he covered himself with a blanket. The clouds spread over the sky. It means all over the sky. The shadow fell over the sidewalk. Moment of crossing. She climbed over the wall. Over the wall means beyond the wall. He just crossed the wall. The car drove over the bridge. It means the bridge begins from here to there and the car just passes through here to there. So this is over the bridge. They swam over the river. Swam over the river, it means over the river, just cross the river. Duration or passage of time. The meeting lasted over 2 hours. So whenever we have to show the duration of time, we can use over. Over 2 hours means the meeting was of 2 hours. I'll be there a little over a week. It means just in a week or after the week. He has been working here for over a decade. Over a decade means since a decade. Decade means a year, a time of 10 years. Control or influence. So we can use over to show the control as well. The manager has authority over the employees. So we can use when that the manager has the authority to control these employees, we can use over. The government has power over the country. So power over the country, it means the government can lead the country, can control the country. Parents have responsibility over their child. So we can use preposition over here as well. Superiority or advantage. Our team is victorious over theirs. So over theirs means that our team is beyond them. She has an edge over her competitors. Knowledge is power over ignorance. Excess or more than something. There are over 100 people at the party. It means around. Over means around. It shows it can be a substitution of around or almost as well. The temperature is over 90 degrees. He spent over 500 rupees on the shopping spree. So we can use over here as well. Covering or protection, as we have already discussed this earlier as well. Put on a raincoat over your uniform. It means you are going to protect your uniform by that raincoat. She wore a hat over her head. So she protected her head with that um, hat because she wore it over her head. They built a roof over the patio. So they are just covering that patio. So they are just protecting that patio. Change or transition. The situation has evolved over time. So the change has taken place. She went through many challenges over the years. It means passage of time. He changed his mind over the weekend. Concerning or about, let's talk over dinner. It means about dinner. We discussed the project over the phone. It means on the phone. She made an announcement over the loudspeaker. So we can use these or the preposition over for these sentences as well. Physical contact or passing. He ran his hand over the surface. As I told you, if we are just we are just ran his hand over, it means he's just using his hand, he is just touching the surface with his hand. For example, whenever we buy a fabric, what we do, we just touch that fabric, we just ran our hand on that fabric just to see the smoothness of the surface of that surface. So we ran over our head, uh, over the surface or over the fabric. The cat walked over my feet. So over my feet, it means she just crossed my feet. The ball rolled over the grass. So you can see the grass over here and the ball is rolling over here. Suspension or hovering. So the helicopter hovered over the city. The kite flew over the park. The drone was hovering over the crowd. So we are using the preposition over. Completing or covering a surface. She painted over the old color. It means she hidden the old color with um the new one. He wrote notes all over the paper. So all over the paper, it means like this. So as I'm doing right now. They built a bridge over the river. So river is here and they built the bridge over here. Now some sentences using preposition over are as follows. Pooja put a blanket over the sleeping child. There was a lamp over the table. They ran over the grass. The car had toppled over the cliff. The ball bounced over the railing. Railing means the railing is here and the ball bounced from this side to that side. We will discuss it over lunch. It means during the lunch time. Now, as I told you, that there is a difference between over and above. Now, what is the difference? And if we talk about aeroplane or birds or anything which is flying, anything which is flying, we can use either of the two prepositions, either over or above. But what are the different context, or what is the difference between over and above in respect to aeroplane? For example, suppose there are some mountains. These are some mountains. Okay, now let me change the color of these mountains. Suppose there are some mountains over here. So these are some mountains. This is one picture and this is another picture. This is a mountain like this. Now these are mountains and this is a mountain. Suppose an aeroplane is here and it is just flying. It is just started from this side and by passing all these mountains, it went another side. Now here the mountains end or the part of these mountains end. So we can use above because this is just flying above the mountains. It means it is just flying, crossing the mountains. So we use above. But suppose there is a mountain and the aeroplane is hovering uh, above this mountain only or over this mountain only. It means it is not crossing the mountain, but it is just covering the surface, the area of that particular mountain only. It is flying over that mountain only. It is not passing that mountain. It is hovering the mountain only, hovering up over that mountain only. So in this case, we use over. Now, if there are several roofs, you can also take example of that. If the aeroplane is just flying crossing the roofs, we use above preposition. The aeroplane is flying above the roofs. But if I say the aeroplane is hovering over the roof, it means there is only one roof or maybe there are many roofs, but the aeroplane is just flying in that particular area of the roofs and it is not crossing the roofs. So there we use the preposition over. So if it does not crosses the surface, we use preposition over, and if it just crosses the surface, we use preposition above. For example, if drone is there, so drone will capture and it will fly over the particular area of which it has to capture the images. But if I say the drone was flying over the roofs, sorry, above the roofs, it means it is just passing the roofs. It means it is taking the um, images of the entire city. So there we can use over in respect of city but above in respect of roofs. So this is how we can use over and above in respect to animals, sorry, in respect to aeroplanes. If it is in case of only one mountain or one or the mountains and in only that particular area, we use over. And if it just crosses the mountains by flying above it, we use preposition above. So this is how we can use preposition above and over. I hope you understood all the points. Thank you very much.